Zanahiyr 13-2, 9-1 in Excelsis Joe. 10s and bigger the rest. Let's get to Don and Gary for the big one.
Nick, thank you very much. Yes, Percival de Galway towards the right of shot there in the first JP McManus colours really does look the standout contender for this year's Tote Galway. Played back at the scene of his debut win over fences here last autumn, and he really has found his groove since handicapping. Don, these are crucial in this race, and we've seen so often in recent renewals, if you get behind early, it can be very, very difficult. Just give us your final thoughts.
Rhythm, he could be a player.
And they're off in the Tote Galway plate of 24, and it is Authorised Dart, runner-up of last year in the orange cap, who just leads them to the first of 14 fences from Am I Right and Ash Tree Meadow, the top weight and winner of last year, as they close in on their first fence. These are followed by Chemical Energy and Duffle Coat and French Dynamite as they jump the first fence, where Pinkerton made a mistake but survived as they go on away from fence number 1 and losing Zanahiyr in the red cap. Ash Tree Meadow and Am I Right have built up a sizable 5-6 length advantage over Authorised Dart as they clear the second fence, followed by Chemical Energy and then Duffle Coat and French Dynamite. Not far off the leaders is Percival de Galway and then Solness, Mr. Policeman, and past second in the race Easy Game as they go towards the next up the far side. And it is Ash Tree Meadow on to the next, over by a couple of lengths to Am I Right, well clear of Authorised Dart, and then Chemical Energy, Duffle Coat, French Dynamite and Percival de Galway, and then Solness, with on the inside is Easy Game with Pinkerton as they jump that ditch, which was the fourth, taking them onto the last up the far side. And it is Ash Tree Meadow who made it off stride but got to the other side safely enough from Am I Right. And third is Authorised Dart, followed at the turn by French Dynamite, and then Percival de Galway. Chemical Energy next with Duffle Coat. Let's Go Champs picked up a bit of ground, and Solness and Toss again next on the outside. Then Easy Game followed by Pinkerton, and Life in the Park, Mr. Policeman has been shuffled back, and then comes Zanahiyr as they come down to the two fences in the dip 6 and 7, and it's Ash Tree Meadow and Alex Harvey in the lead from Am I Right. The mount of Sam Twist and Davis quickly onto the fence. That'll be the last next time. A little bit closer in third, Authorised Dart and Danny Mullins, followed on rising ground by French Dynamite, and then Percival de Galway. Chemical Energy is next. On the inside is Solness, and then Let's Go Champ and Duffle Coat and Toss again and Pinkerton and Easy Game and Life in the Park and Mr. Policeman next. Then Zanahiyr and Tunnybag. The great Don Vegan next on the inside. Well back in Excelsis Deo, Ida's Boy, Sanwa, and finally Hurricane Georgie as they return to the point at which they started, soon at halfway. Another 7 fences left to jump as the field tightens up considerably. It is Ash Tree Meadow by a couple of lengths to Am I Right. Authorised Dart, French Dynamite, Sol next. Then comes Percival de Galway and Chemical Energy and Duffle Coat and Let's Go Champ on the stand side. Easy Game followed by Pinkerton and then Life in the Park. Toss again next with Zanahiyr and Tunnybag and Ida's Boy and Mr. Policeman, and then Don Vegan in Excelsis Deo, followed by Sanwa, and none behind Hurricane Georgie, the fence which was their first. Number 8 this time. And it is Ash Tree Meadow. Out of trouble in front, leads a couple of lengths with a mile to go. And 6 fences left to jump, is followed by Am I Right, then Authorised Dart. On the inside, edging a little bit closer is Chemical Energy, and then French Dynamite, Let's Go Champ and Pinkerton, Duffle Coat, Solness next with Zanahiyr. Percival de Galway has been knocked back. Then Life in the Park, Easy Game, Don Vegan, Toss again next with Ida's Boy, Tunnybag, Mr. Policeman, followed then by Hurricane Georgie. After Hurricane Georgie is San Juan, really struggling, is in Excelsis Deo, the English challenger. Heading inside the final 7 furlongs. The next up the back will be 5 fences from the finish. And it is Ash Tree Meadow who put down there but safely over from Am I Right, almost joined for second by Authorised Dart. Then Chemical Energy, Pinkerton is edging closer. And then Let's Go Champ, French Dynamite. Zanahiyr is also making a forward move with Mr. Policeman as they jump that last ditch with 5 furlongs to go and 3 fences left to jump. In the Tote Galway plate of 24, Ash Tree Meadow. Authorised Dart jumped up on the outside of Am I Right, being followed at the top bend by Pinkerton, who's up in the fourth head of Let's Go Champ. Percival de Galway comes back to join them. Then Chemical Energy, French Dynamite, Life in the Park, and Zanahiyr is next with Ida's Boy, and then Duffle Coat, Mr. Policeman. Down the hill they come to the final two fences, and it is Ash Tree Meadow leading a packing field from Authorised Dart on the outside of Am I Right, then Pinkerton, Percival de Galway, Let's Go Champ, Life in the Park, Zanahiyr on the inside of Chemical Energy, the second last. Ash Tree Meadow comes to the final fence, two clear from Authorised Dart on the outside, followed by Pinkerton, who's on their heels third. Am I Right, Let's Go Champ next, followed by Zanahiyr and Chemical Energy. A gap then to Life in the Park, Percival de Galway and Duffle Coat. In they come to the home straight, furlong and a half to go. Ash Tree Meadow would round the outside. Pinkerton coming there full of running. Zanahiyr joins them. Duffle Coat digs in. Life in the Park next, followed by Am I Right. On the stand side is Let's Go Champ, and it's Pinkerton who leads in the closing stages of the plate from Zanahiyr. Duffle Coat over on the far side is finishing strongly, but it is Pinkerton on the stand side who has the plate from Duffle Coat. Zanahiyr, Life in the Park, and a gap then to Chemical Energy.
It's a big win for trainer Noel Meade at Galway. Pinkerton has completed a hat-trick. Meyler has won it again, and this one in the poly colours, just fending off Duffle Coat, who's come home with real gusto in a race that appeared to be very steadily run in the main. That meant there were a whole load of them in with a chance coming down into the dip over the last. Ash Tree Meadow still in front. Mistake from the favourite there, Percival de Galway. He couldn't get back into it after that. But the eventual winner, Don, is going best of all at this stage.
It's brilliant for Noel Meade, Gary. Noel Meade, he's probably won every single race here at Galway. He's definitely won all the big ones. Road to Riches won this race a few years ago for him. And Pinkerton, the worry about Pinkerton coming here was whether or not he'd stay the 2 miles, 6.5 furlongs. He won over 2 miles last time at Punchestown and given a lovely ride by Meyler, just smuggled him into the race. You could pick him out as the horse who was travelling best after the last fence, and it was just a case of whether or not he was going to be able to get up the hill. And Duffle Coat on the far side stayed on really strongly and gave him a big scare. But Pinkerton, in fairness to him, he's found plenty. He's seen out the trip well. He's gone to the line, won by about a neck or half a length in the end.
Great effort from Zanahiyr in third as well. And Les McGillick there, who's a big part of Noel Meade's team, celebrating the success of Pinkerton, who, though he's not the biggest horse in the world, seems to have really found his niche chasing of late with those wins at Tipperary and the Punchestown Festival. Kept on ice for this big prize after that. Life in the Park, another one who's run really well in fourth, and they were some way clear of the remainder. A lot of the fancied horses struggled to get in the blow. In Excelsis Deo made a few mistakes, couldn't get involved. But Pinkerton for Meyler, who won it on Lord Scoundrel back in 2016, is the one who's emerged triumphant here. And the cheers already going up for Connections ahead of his return. Overall thoughts on is Danny Gilligan, who won it last year, congratulates the winning pilot this time around. Yeah, look, it's Noel Meade said after he won that race at Punchestown at the festival that the Galway plate was going to be his target, and he argued the case for him staying. His dam is a house sister to Verscati Park, who was a 3 mile chaser for Barry Connell and Nigel Tristan Davis, and he's had to stay because Duffle Coat has come at him. Zanahiyr's run a massive race. He was around the inside the whole way for Jack Kennedy. He got him into a lovely rhythm from early, saved every inch of ground, and he stayed on as well. Let's Go Champ, he travelled really well for Rachel Blackmore for a lot of the way. She got him into his rhythm, and he just couldn't stay on as well as Pinkerton did. But you see here on the run around the home turn, he's travelling best of all. Meyler is still sitting fairly motionless there as everybody else is rowing away. Duffle Coat has stayed on really well. Am I Right has run well for a long way. A lot of the Henry de Bromhead horses have run well. Life in the Park has stayed on as well up the hill in the cheek pieces, and the first four have pulled a little way clear, but looking in behind to see if anything, like Ash Tree Meadow ran a big race for a long way, and Duffle Coat just didn't get there, the Mayo National winner. But it's Pinkerton's day, Gary. He's done it really well, and it's a deserved prize. Fifth win of his career, Pinkerton. He's an 8-year-old. He was a bit unlucky on occasion in some of those big handicap hurdles. He went close a few times and just maybe didn't get the rub of the green on occasion. But Connections will be worrying too much about that now. as it's all come good for him of late. Disappointing run for the favourite, you'd have to say. He didn't get the start he was looking for. Percival Le Galway and was in and out of the race after that mistake at the last finished him off. Well, there is the winner. Connections welcoming back Pinkerton. Noel Meade, well, he's been training winners here at Galway for a long time, Don. Don't know how far back you can remember.
Go back to definitely the early 80s with Steel Juke and Pinch Hitter. And I honestly, I think he's won pretty much every race here. Maybe the Zanahiyr Handicap is the one that he hasn't won, but he's won all the big races. When he won the Galway Plate here, he won the hurdle with Pinch Hitter, obviously twice with more rainbows going back. And then when Road to Riches won the Galway Plate, that was the last big race that he hadn't won. But hey, he's done it again.
That's right, Road to Riches 10 years ago. Pinkerton in 2024 is the 20 to 1 winner of the Tote Galway Plate.
Thank you very much, Gary. Yep, 10 years on for the trainer, 8 years for Donna Meyler, the then £5 claiming Donna Meyler. There he is. He rode it on Lord Scoundrel back in 2016. Wins it on Pinkerton, 20 to 1. Duffle Coat, 25 to 1. Zanahiyr, 13 to 2. Well backed earlier. Life in the Park.